Blog Talk Radio.
Basically.
What the hell is that?
I'm sorry. Well.
Welcome to the Will and Thunder Show.
Welcome to the Will and Thunder Show.
Well, guys, welcome back into another wonderful edition of the Will and Thunder Show. I am Kevin Thunder, and out here somewhere in the time-space continuum, I have William Telltale. Where you at there, buddy?
I'm right here. You got something? You sound scratchier than normal.
Oh, well, I've just been out in the sun all day, so it's kind of, just catching up with me a little bit today. My son he's a competition shooter, and we've been running around for the last couple of days, and I guess it's just the holler and everything, in between matches,
well,
maybe got me a little bit.
Well, it's all good, but you know what? I will never say that anybody sounds bad again. After you've got to hear Scotty Farrell on the bench. He's a CBS Sports guy. On the sports radio, and he's on at night. I'm not sure exactly what time or whatever, but oh man,
I'm not kidding.
If he can make it on radio, anybody can.
He sounds just like this, but I mean, I'm not exaggerating at all. I mean, you look him up on YouTube, find him, whatever. This is exactly what the guy sounds like.
But the funny thing is,
kind of like me, but whiny.
With a higher voice. He kind of, but he knows his stuff. It's a really good show. I highly recommend it. I mean, I listen to it from time to time when I can. But it's
well, that's the one thing. If you have talent, if you have talent, the voice doesn't matter. But I mean, it's a really big thing in radio is to have a voice, but you have to have the person to go along with it, and it's vice versa. I mean, if you have the personality, you have to know how, the knowledge. And you're a good speaker. It doesn't matter what your voice is like. I mean, there's certain people out there who didn't have voices who made it in radio. Look at Howard Stern right there. He really does not have a radio voice, especially when he started. He's come a long way, don't get me wrong. And he's come a long way in radio. Hell, he's a king of, talk radio. But what I'm saying is he's come a long way with tone and, his articulation and all that. I mean, he's totally different than he did when he got started.
I mean, if you hear Howard Stern now versus even something that he did earlier in this century, like maybe 2001, 2002,
right,
night and day difference. And by then he was still he peaked back in the 90s, so he's
right. It's the butt man era.
Yeah, but his voice, Baba Booey, his voice still still really good. He's better than we are.
Oh, well, you know what? There's always something to aspire to be. So I mean, that could be our deal right there. But so that's what's going on with me. I did this competition going on with my son. He's actually doing fairly well in it. We'll see. We got to finish up tomorrow. But I'm coming to you live from the great music city of Nashville, Tennessee.
Cool.
Yeah,
and you're going to be somewhere in Florida. You're going to be somewhere
That's
in Florida
right, next week,
right?
I'll be coming to you live from Cocoa Beach, Florida, so we can do a little summer show, maybe talk about some things going on with summertime scene a little bit. Boy, I make everybody jealous.
That's our hometown. I'm jealous.
I know, buddy.
Because I don't get
I can't wait. Hopefully I'm going to take some time and see some of our good friends down there and see some family while I'm down there.
Well, I just want to say to all the people listening for the first time, Mick James will be on about 10:30, and what we do between 10 and 10:30 is we get warmed up, get into the groove and everything. We call it the shenanigans segment.
Shenanigans.
Now, the beauty of shenanigans. The beauty of this is shenanigans. The beauty of it is
what shenanigans?
We get to kick off the shenanigans segment with a story about shenanigans, which is awesome.
Our shenanigans are cheeky and fun.
Yeah, I mean, his shenanigans are cruel and tragic.
Which makes them not shenanigans at all, really.
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
Shenanigans! Shenanigans!
Are you little?
I love that little video game outro there. But
I love it right there.
Like I said before, we get to start off the shenanigans segment with a story about shenanigans. And you're familiar with Snopes.com?
Yes, that's the self-proclaimed end-all, be-all, know-all of the internet. You know, if it comes from Snopes, it's got to be true.
It's got to be true. Well, there was this quote that I read from Benjamin Franklin that he posted on Yahoo. It said, "Don't believe everything you read on the internet."
Absolutely. Well, you know, I am a French model.
You are?
Yeah, you know,
that
commercial.
I'm
that
a
commercial
body
was one of the great. Yeah, okay. Me too. I'm in shape.
I am.
I'm in shape.
Yeah, just not the type of, not the location.
Not the Arnold Schwarzenegger kind.
although my belly probably sticks out farther than his chest.
Well, you know, you got to start somewhere.
Anyway,
but yeah,
I've called shenanigans on Snopes for years, and I've been told that I was an idiot for, dude, if it's on Snopes, man, they do the research, man. They know everything. And I've been told how much of an idiot I was for, I'm sorry.
Trained investigators. Trained investigators.
Just because something's on Snopes. Well, no, they're not journalists. They're wannabe detectives, or so they want everybody to think. I mean, but I've gotten into arguments in forums and on Facebook and everything about somebody posting something on Snopes, and I'll be like, sorry, I don't buy it. And oh man, these people get offended if you don't believe what Snopes says. Well, what kind of tool would you think that they would have to do all this research about finding out whether things are true or not? I mean, you would think they would have access.
They really dig deep and make some phone calls, get close to the story, and maybe talk to the people that are involved, or maybe look into some paperwork or something that involves a certain situation. So kind of fact-heavy things.
Right. You would think.
But guess what they do? Guess what? They do the same thing my kids do when they need to know something.
They do the same thing that I do when I'm doing show prep.
Exactly.
Google search engine.
Google search engine. Oh my goodness.
Google search engine. I mean, it basically Snopes is this man and woman. They're married couple. They look like somebody that you would see in Walmart. With the wife driving around the little carrier thing, even though she's perfectly able to walk.
I'll be nice because we're on the radio, and I will not call that what I usually call that. Well, yes, I will. I don't care. It's a tard cart.
Well, I mean, and there's a picture of them, of the two of them online, and they're sitting on this pink couch. The husband has a haircut that looks like he's, you know, a reject from the 70s, and then the wife is, you know, almost as big as the couch, and the cat that's behind them on the back of the couch is almost as big as the wife.
That is hilarious. You can't say anything about a big cat. Don't even bring that up. Leave that cat out. It's not its fault. And you remember Tabby, and we'll leave that alone. The true living form of Garfield.
I'm gonna cry. I miss that cat.
Well, you know, Tabby was the coolest cat ever, but still, that was the biggest cat ever. Big around.
She didn't claim to be an investigative journalist either.
Well, you know, it's funny, you know, you get these people out here who have, especially if you get, you know, people with, you know, some wise ideas on certain things. Anyway, if you go on Google and you look up anything, there's 37 different stories on it, 37 different opinions. Yes, aliens are real. No, they're not real. Yes, they are real. I saw UFO. No, I didn't see UFO. So, I mean, they're not doing anything that we don't know already. And there's no proof and there's no facts to it.
Their names are David and Barbara Mickelson, and they're from San Fernando Valley, California. They started the website about 13 years ago, which that makes sense. I first started hearing about it around 2001, 2002.
Right.
And basically, in 2008, there was a State Farm agent named Bud Gregg, and he had a political sign made in Louisiana referencing Barack Obama, and that made a big, huge splash on the Internet. And the Mickelsons researched this issue, and then they posted their condemnation of it on Snopes. Basically, in their statement, they claimed that the corporate office of State Farm pressured Mr. Gregg into taking down the sign. In fact, nothing ever took place. A friend of Mr. Gregg actually personally contacted David Mickelson to tell him that wasn't true. Nobody asked him to take the sign down. But they didn't retract or anything. That they just left it be.
Right.
But it's they never they said that they would look into it, but the Mickelsons themselves never in fact called this Mr. Gregg. So they've also posted stories that they know to be false on there. You know, it's basically politically driven. Basically, it was like if I don't know, give me a big time Democrat person. If I don't know, look, Michael Moore. If Michael Moore decided to Nancy Pelosi, if she decided to make a factual website, and it would be the same thing if like Rush Limbaugh tried to do one of his own. It's all it was. So
this is highly political, right? Exactly. You know, biased ideas, and you know, everybody wants to be famous nowadays. So if they can hide in the background,
I think for myself, and that was my main issue about Snopes. I think for myself, and I'm going to research. If there's something that I care enough to look it up online, I'm going to go through the procedure and the work to find out if it's for real or not.
Right.
I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go
to find the needle. You're not looking for.
I'm not going to go to the first freaking website that I see. Oh, there it is. It's true. I'm not going to do that. And I don't care what side of the political spectrum the story's from, whether it's right wing, left wing, somewhere in the middle, or what. I don't trust, especially when it comes to politics. I don't trust anything anybody says.
Oh, no, you can't. I mean, everything's so politicized now, and everything's, even media nowadays, there's no truth against media. I mean, we're one of the few people who actually go out there and we just state what happens. I mean, yes, you have your opinion, I have my opinion, but, you can kind of state what, it's sad nowadays. You have Fox News for the Republicans, you have CNN for the Democrats, and then you can pick and choose in between the other ones.
And then you have MSNBC. You have MSNBC for the total whack jobs.
But the thing is, I mean, what happened to Tom Brokaw, who just told you what the news was, didn't tell you what to think about it?
Yeah, and I mean that all went out the window when back when those documents about George W. Bush came out about his...
No, what happened is when they broke up the media and they sold it off to big business. When big companies bought ABC and all that, that's what happened.
What I was going to say is when all that happened, and it turned out that the documents that he was referring to was done in Microsoft Word when it was supposed to have come out in the 60s or 70s.
Right.
He actually reported on it as if it was real. He's like, well, it doesn't matter. He actually said it doesn't matter what they say. We should be concentrating on what's in the document.
Well, let's not get into politics and just one quick thing. Yeah, I know, but today they think they got the guy that was the mastermind in the Benghazi attack. So that's, on a lighter note, we got another terrorist. So they've got him in captivity out of Libya, and they're trying to get that all figured out. So
don't get me started.
No, I know, but I'm just saying. So that's something in the news. And then the other thing with what's going on in Iraq, man, it looks like it's to be a mess. So if you guys are planning to go on vacation, I'd do it quickly if you're driving anywhere, because this is going to be another bump in the gas prices, unfortunately.
Yep. Especially at Baghdad Falls.
Oh, yeah, which always I don't think is going to happen, because, Syria's getting involved, and a couple other countries have already done some airstrikes, and we've already put 2 ships back in the Gulf, and talking about putting a couple hundred troops on the ground, actually, or on standby in the area. So, if it gets to the point where it's going to get a little tough, and this isn't Iraq, this is just some of the insurgents right here. They're taking over town after town after town. They killed 400 people in the last couple of days, just mass murders and kidnapping. Yeah,
and they're on their way to Baghdad. But I'm going to say one more thing about this whole Snopes issue, and then we'll move on. To all of the people out there who called me all sorts of vile names about daring to question Snopes, I have this to say to you. That felt good.
Well,
you know what that was?
Well,
you know what that was?
Yes, I do.
I'll tell you what that was. Had to do it.
Well done, well done. What else we got going on here? Let's get off the serious stuff real quick. Well, that wasn't super serious right there, but that's something we all know. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. Let's pick up a couple other stories from the internet, and these are almost unbelievable in themselves. Well,
it would appear that in Tulsa, Oklahoma, they caught a hardened criminal in Walmart.
Yeah. Yes. A man was caught in the middle of Walmart, and he was using the jerk lotion. Yeah. Really? Clean up on aisle 7, please. Now, look, I've been in a couple stores, I can't mention names, that have some items that are supposed to arouse you. I've never found anything in a Walmart that brought me to the point of wanting to pleasure myself, or
at least make it so that you couldn't wait till you got home.
Exactly. There's not even that. Look, first of all, the people you see in Walmart should deter that right off the bat anyway. If you stop for 5 minutes and you watch 10 people walk by, that'll disinfect her and stop a Viagra pill in a heartbeat. No, but this idiot.
Why, no, I do go to Walmart, but I
do too. Don't get me wrong here, but
I go at 3:00 in the morning where I don't have to put up with all the.
You're more likely to run into this anyway, because I can't see this happening at 4:00 in the afternoon.
It did happen at 4:00 in the afternoon.
The little kid coming around the corner, he's like, "Can I get some gummy bears? What is he doing?"
Can I get some glaze for my donut, Mommy?
Oh. I mean, really, come on now, man. People, what is wrong with you? Look, man, when we were kids, you didn't hear about shit like this. And not that people weren't crazy back then, but it's time to slow down on the producing of children if you're not going to take care of them and raise them right. Look, man, we cannot have people jerking their thing in the middle of Walmart. I'm there to buy some toilet paper and maybe a little something for dinner, and I wasn't thinking stroganoff. But thanks for helping me out. I really didn't know what I wanted.
Well, apparently they keep the tube steak on the battery aisle.
I mean, really, I'm just like, first of all, I mean, where was he? I mean, was he over there in the woman's underwear department? Oh, look at this. I mean, it just blows my mind. Look, buy a Sunday paper. They got pictures in there.
Hold on. In this guy's defense, by the way, we've got people signing into the chat room. Mick James will be on with us probably in about 10 minutes or so. You're on the Will and Thunder Show, and we're just having a little bit of fun before the guest gets here. But in this guy's defense, I will say that some of the things that they put on the some of the models that they have pictures of, I mean they're kind of attractive.
No, and I understand that, but still, you can find the same thing in the Sunday newspaper, the JCPenney little fold-over kind of thing. I mean, this is not, a necessary thing.
Have you looked at the cost of a frickin' penthouse these days?
That's why I said buy a Sunday paper. It's $1, $2 at the most. You'll be all right. I just don't get it, man. I don't understand it.
Damn.
What else we got? More idiot news.
More idiot news. Oh man! In a related story, in Ohio somewhere, there's a man who is a repeat offender about having sex with pool toys.
Now this, before you go any further, I want you to say that again. I want you to repeat yourself. This is a repeat offender of this issue.
Repeat offender.
This is not the first time he's done this.
No.
He's actually got in trouble for this before.
And we're not talking about blow-up dolls. We're not talking about blow-up dolls and stuff like that. We're talking about, actual toys that you would use with the family in the pool. And this is the third time now that he's been arrested for that. I mean, they have 3 strikes you're out laws when it comes to guns. Do you think that they would have a three wax you're out law?
And here's the other thing. Okay, look, you're a weirdo. You want to do weird things. That's fine, but do them in the privacy of your own home. Don't do these things in public where other people can see, where other people figure out what is he doing. Now, I mean, you have those rafts that you can get in Walmart that look like they have cup holders all over them. I guess that's what he was doing, because I don't know. I mean, or one of those blow-up shampoos. Are you kidding me?
Well,
this is what that's just like they have that weird show on TV. It's called My Strange Addiction.
Hold on, that's what it had to have been. I mean, it had to have been one of those blow-up shampoo, one of those shampoo rafts or whatever. I mean, and my reasoning for this, maybe with the guy with the blowhole. You've seen some of the shampoos that I went home with when I was drunk from a bar.
Oh my goodness! Really, we were going there right now? Mercy. Well, I thought you were going to go with the thing that he turned him on because he wanted to check out the blowhole.
That too.
No, seriously. Now, this is the world we live in right now, which totally blows my mind. I'm not saying I'm normal by any means, but I'm also saying that I don't have sex with blow-up pool toys, and I definitely do not masturbate in Walmart or any other store for that matter.
Well, I mean, there's another story that, I mean, I'm not going to go full on touch on this one because I want to go get into something else before we bring Mr. Mick James on. But another story, this guy was...
You don't want to touch it full on? We'll go to Walmart. That's where you do it. Anyway, go ahead.
There was this other guy. He got admitted to the emergency room because he held a lighter up to the end of a bullet because he wanted to see what happened.
Are you? And he survived, didn't he? He survived.
It was a 22. So yeah, he survived.
Well, actually, don't. I mean, that doesn't matter because I'll tell you what, the most dangerous bullet in the world is a 22 bullet because they're so light they can go anywhere and they'll ricochet off anything, and you don't know where they're going. But anyway, look, this is why I truly believe in. Look, my brain just died. The theory of evolution to an extent, and how
survival of the fittest.
Survival of the fittest, absolutely. But the thing is, I mean, this guy, he's going to do something. He won't make it to 50.
Let's hope not. But that just goes back to what we were talking about. That just goes back to what we were talking about as far as the these idiots, these idiots having sex with inflatable objects in Walmart. But the thing about it is just common sense has gone out the window. Like you would think, they're putting don't try this at home.
It's oxymoron ever. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just look at the world we live in today. You can't buy any object without a warning label on it.
Right, because if some knucklehead tries to work on his chainsaw and puts the blade in between his legs and he pulls on the thing and it cuts him from right up the chain, he's going to go and sue the chainsaw manufacturer and he's going to fucking win.
Right. It is totally ridiculous, the world we live in today. And it's all started with these stupid lawsuits like the McDonald's. We've touched on that before. But yeah, I mean, it's just absolutely asinine to me that, you have to put some of these stupid, tags on things. As a matter of fact, for next week's show, I'm going to look up some of these stupid tags. But it's funny, it's like you can buy a cell phone that says, do not put in mouth, can be a choking hazard. Are you fucking kidding me? Don't put it in your mouth. Really? Or
a cinder block. Do not use as a hat. Could cause brain trauma or something.
Severe bodily harm or death.
Well, let's move to this next story that I want to cover. We got about three or 4 minutes, and our guest, Mick James, is here. Mick James is in the house, and we're going to bring him on after we play one of the songs. But this, due to time being an issue, as far as we got to do this story now. What's up with all the fanaticism going on in Brazil over soccer for the United States soccer team?
Look, man, first off, go United States, man. I'm proud of these guys, man. I was watching the game a little bit last night. I'm not a huge soccer fan, but, it's just like every other sport. When you got the big game on, you got to kind of pay attention. This soccer team who's been beat by Guana twice kind of spoiled them, a couple of years, 4 years ago. But they came out there, and every story on media about the game before the game was the United States has no chance. They came out and scored in the first 30 seconds of this game. And then I watched the game. They lost one of their key players to an injury. Another one got kicked in the face. I mean, broke his nose, kicked in the face, and wasn't off the field for 5 minutes. And came back, and they ended up winning the game 2-1. Go USA! I'm pulling for you guys. It was pretty awesome. But along the sides of that, I mean, you've got everybody from around the world dressed up in USA gear now,
which is crazy. I mean, you've got like the red, white, and blue Oakland Raiders fans out there.
I mean, it's crazy. It's awesome.
I actually saw pictures. There were these pictures of these people that had like these crazy outfits, like the Raiders fans wear. Except they were red, white, and blue. But on a lighter note, yeah, that's we got to give kudos to the U.S. soccer team.
I had to pull that out real quick. Go USA.
But also, and this is, this kind of fits in with the topic that we've had going on for the first 30 minutes of the show.
So you're going to bring in inflatable animals and masturbation into the World Cup. I love it. It is in Rio. That's where they have Carnival, isn't it, or something like that?
Well, there's a Chilean porn star who basically promised that if Chile won a World Cup game, she would have 12 hours of marathon sex with strangers. Just come in, do your thing, leave, next. And I don't know. That just kind of seems like
no.
Maybe taking it a little bit too far.
Look, man. In the back of our minds back there, there's a little fantasy that runs with, oh, man, one day I'm going to get a porn star. Not that way. I don't want to be number 2, much less number 110.
Yeah. That's a train that I do not want to ride, literally.
No, look, man. I mean, that's just the cocktail that's being stirred right there is not one you want to drink. No, sir. No. I mean.
Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this shenanigans segment up with just one word, ew, and we're gonna go ahead and break, and we're gonna come back with Mr. Mick James. We're gonna play you a song of his right now, and it's called "Speeding Like a Fiend." We'll be right back on the Will and Thunder Show with Mr. Mick James.
That's what that Chilean girl was doing.
It's the enchanting.
All right, welcome back to the Will and Thunder Show. That is Mr. Mick James from his album Mick James is Dead. What's going on, brother?
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Welcome into the Will and Thunder Show, man. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm looking forward to it. How you guys doing tonight? You rocking?
Man,
we're
look,
having
couldn't
a
be
blast.
better, brother. Could not be better.
Great to hear.
Yeah, we've been having a pretty fun show so far during our warm up segment. So we're good. We're ready to party.
You gotta love it.
Kick back a couple cocktails and just get to run the jaw a little bit, man.
Sounds like a good time.
So, man, first thing first, man. Working with Criss Angel, man, that's pretty fucking impressive, man.
Yeah, it was cool. I had a good 11-year run so far. Did some great stuff, some good music, a lot of stuff for the TV shows, for his internet stuff, and for his Vegas show, and it's definitely put me in a nice position to do my own thing now, and very, very proud of all that stuff.
Yeah, man, it was cool, man. It must have, just the experience there alone. I mean, you did the Vegas show with him, the Cirque du Soleil. I mean, that's pretty good leg up right there to get things started. I mean, you've been playing for a long time. I know you're an engineer. You're doing a little bit of everything in the music business.
Yeah, definitely on a lot of different ends of it. I write a lot of music for a lot of TV shows and a lot of movies and things like that, and starting to venture more into acting myself and with a movie I got coming out that's a part of my project. And I've been doing all kinds of aspects in the business. It's not just being an actual musician, but I'm very excited to actually get out on stage again real soon. So, it's all hand in hand.
Exactly, and there's nothing like that actually being out there. I mean, even if you're in just a little bar playing for 50 people, or you're out there playing a big time right there. There's just something about having the guitar in your hand and doing it live, and being a part of the music, not just writing it and having it. It's great to be watching a movie, be like, oh yeah, that's my stuff right there. But when you're actually right there performing it, there's no other feeling in the world that even compares to it.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I love being in the studio. I'm in the studio hours on end, but I got to be honest, getting out, getting in front of the people and playing and getting the initial reaction, there's nothing like that. There's no high. There's no drug equal, I'd say.
Oh, I agree 100%, man. There's nothing like it, man. And that's what you feed off right there. And the first time you get that feeling and that recognition, you see somebody in the crowd, it's like, man, that, you see that look on their face, you're like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah, for sure. And I've been doing it all my life, and I can't see doing anything else,
Well,
I hear you, brother. I hear you.
The album that you have out, Mick James is Dead. Now, explain that to me. It's I reviewed it. It's a concept album of sorts, and but there's also an actual movie going along with it. I mean, I saw the 6 or 7 minute video that you have out for Speeding Like a Fiend. Now, is that just a segment of a much longer movie that's coming?
Well, that's just a movie teaser. We did that just as a video, as kind of like a movie teaser, but we're looking to do, the whole project is based around the story of a movie. And it's going to be done as a real movie with real movie producers and the whole thing. The video was just to give a little taste of a setup of the story, if you will. That was like a 3-minute intro, little teaser of what would really be like a 15-minute scene in the movie. Basically it's a concept record. It's everyone keeps asking me, why is Mick James dead? Why are you dead? And yes, it's a movie idea that came from talking with a buddy of mine that we ended up calling the project Mick James is Dead, and it just sparked all this song titles and lyrics and whatnot. Next thing I knew, we had a story going on. Started writing a script, and we have interest to do the movie right now. We're working on that. It's going to take a little longer, unfortunately, but we do have really good interest, and the script is done, and very, very excited to get that going. So the CD itself is like a mini soundtrack to the actual movie, if you will. So basically, it has like little dialogue pieces in between the songs from the script, telling the story. So if you listen to the CD from beginning to end, you get a sense of kind of like a story. I loved your review because it's your take on it. Everybody has a little different take on it, and understands it a little differently, and they will do that until the actual movie comes out. So,
gotcha.
So it's just vague for now.
How far off was I? I don't need details, but just tell me.
No, well, it was good. You had some good insight on it, I got to say. I like the review. It's definitely good insight. But, there's a couple of things that, it's kind of funny how people perceive things. But you're close. It's really not about that. It has an actual storyline completely different. But it is about, basically a rocker. Everyone's known me as Micky James throughout the years. Mick James is like the alter ego. He's more, an egotistical, badass rock and roll guy that's just, pretty much sucked up by fame and gets into a car accident. He ends up dying, and we see what the afterlife has in store for him, if you will.
That is going to be awesome, man.
Yeah.
So are you guys pitching this to big studios, or is this going to be more of an independent?
Hold on.
No, we're looking to get some serious budget going on. We have some serious interest. We have a couple producers interested in doing it. We have some serious potential rock star, cameos and stuff like that. And really, really looking to put it together. We're working to see how much budget we can get now, and it's looking really good. I mean, much more than I, expected. I was thinking a low budget, go straight to DVD thing, but they're looking to get this out there in a big way with, a couple $1 million budget and see, if we can make it happen. I mean, it's really that good of a story.
It's a great concept right there. I mean, you've had rock and roll movies out there, don't get me wrong, and there's been some decent ones out there. I mean, the greatest of all, of course, is Spinal Tap,
Of course.
Of course, you got to throw that out there, man.
Well, you know what it is?
To have some of this concept with, you have the egotistical rock star and everything's going great. Look at me, I can do what I want to do, act like I want to act. I can be Vince Neil.
Yeah, it's all good. I mean, bottom line is, look, rock and roll has its excesses, and how you handle it is different things. I've been around long enough that I'm not going to get out there and just start doing mad drugs and all that. I did all that shit when I was a kid. So I'm past all that. So it's, to me, it's a good story of potentially what could happen to anybody. And honestly, funny enough, again, a lot of people don't understand when they hear the CD. It's derogatory things being said about the character is because he's sucked up in his own excess of bullshit. And it's kind of like, again, an alter ego. It's
wrapped up in his own world. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great concept, and I can't wait till the new movie. Because, and speaking of, you said you're going to have some, big names in the, rock world on there. You've worked with quite a few of them, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, I was lucky enough to get a couple really great guys on the CD who I would like to get in the movie in one way or another. Some would be a performance piece because it is a musical. Some would be, some of the songs. Not all the songs on the CD will actually appear as what they call one-to-one. In other words, with the characters singing the song. So anybody who appeared on that, like a rock star, say Tony Harnell per se, with the song you guys are going to debut, the new song is called Guess What, You're Dead. That's the next single. Tony Harnell from TNT sang on that, and that was such an honor to get him to do that. He won't necessarily... What's that?
I say he's one of my favorite singers all time.
Yeah, he's so good. He's so amazing. He really took the song to another level. It really... and amazingly enough, I was shocked the way our voices actually blended together because we're so on the other spectrum of different type of voices. But it really worked nicely. I mean, it was a good collaboration, and he's just so pro and really, again, I love the song the way it was, but when he sang on it, he really took it to another level, and that was really great. But in a situation with him, I'd love to have him in the movie, but it wouldn't be while he was singing. It would have to be like an acting part because... Right. That particular song is going to be used for the credit roll, so it wouldn't be used for, but some of the other songs are performance songs where I'll be performing the songs in the movie, so there's a lot of big names flying around. I mean, we don't know who's going to actually do it and who's not going to do it. I know who I want, I wanted some of my real heroes and idols and things like that, but, with pending budget and who wants to do it and who wants to be cool enough to do it, we have to see. That's the future.
Well, just to let you know, on the up and up right now, if you have any scenes written in a movie where you're doing any radio interviews, Will and I don't charge much.
I'm
glad to do that for you.
I'll have to keep that in mind.
Well, listen, I'm just going to throw that out there,
You guys are rock stars in your own right, so, you never know.
Thunder
you never know.
Thunder just kind of stole my thunder, literally. I mean, I was going to say,
that's my job. That's my job. I'm the cool guy on the show. All right, you just got to keep up with me.
Oh, okay. Except what I was going to say was like if you need two jackass radio guys, we're your guys.
You gotta love it.
What I said was much cooler than that. All right, so let me do that part real quick. All right, there, Will. I appreciate it, man.
That's too funny.
Great minds think alike.
This is how we do this thing right here. You know what? We are not your typical radio show. We like just to act like we're sitting in a bar drinking a beer and we're just bullshitting with you. Just want to know what's on your mind for real. It's not the typical 10 questions of, so what's next? And do you think you're going to get produced? And what's it? No, man, let's hear who Mick James is, you know?
Well,
every
you know
time
what?
I say your name, you know what I want to say?
What?
Mick James.
Of course. You see my shirts, I take it, right?
I have. I love it, man.
You know, that whole thing stemmed from the Dave Chappelle show with Charlie Murphy. People started saying, "Hey, you're Mick James, bitch," you know, as a goof on the Rick James thing. And
of course.
Someone bought me a shirt, and I wore it in a photo shoot. One of my clients gave me a shirt, and it said, "I'm Mick James, bitch," and I wore it. And all these girls were like writing me saying like, "I want one," and I was like, "Why would a girl want a shirt that says I'm Mick James, bitch? I don't get it." And this girl out of Texas, a good friend of mine, actually made her own shirt, and it said, "I'm Mick James's bitch." She put the little apostrophe there. Is it apostrophe? Is that what it is? And the shirt was born, and I put it out there thinking that a lot of people would get offended. And I got to tell you, every woman wants that shirt. They all want to be my bitch, and I can't complain about that. I mean, I love it.
No, why would you?
Well, here right now is our little public service announcement for all these kids that are listening tonight. Punctuation matters. Punctuation matters. A little apostrophe changes everything right there. It's all a matter of perception. That's right.
It's just that little fucking mark changed the world, you know?
That's right. It's a little mark. I mean, it's like the Nike hashtag, man. Come on now. You can do that, kids. Get out there and read a book.
But it's funny enough, that is my biggest selling shirt. I mean, people just love it. The girls just want to be my bitch, and I can't complain. It's a good thing. I thought people would be up in arms and be offended, but they're not.
Yeah,
so it's
the
good.
first 10 seconds of that video I saw of yours, yes, they do. And that must have been so much fun to shoot right there.
Well, what? Again,
why not me? Why
well,
not me?
The funny thing is, going back, why not you? The funny thing in the world is, like, everyone thinks this is my regular, everyday agenda. I wake up and I start banging 2 girls, and everything's wonderful. But, the truth of the matter is, it was a really great really great time video shoot. It was hard being me that day, I got to admit. But, bottom line is, it's really, really setting up the character, showing the excesses of rock and roll. And, some people get it right off the bat. Some people don't. I mean, look, every guy loves it because it's every guy's fantasy. You got to love that.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, some women don't get it. They don't understand. Like, why are you doing that for? Well, it's like it's setting up the character. This is the day in the life of a rock and roll bad boy. So, it's really, that's what it is. It's part of the movie. And again, it's funny, even to this day, the CD's been out for, I don't know, since April, I think. Officially, it's been out even longer than that as a pre-order, and people still ask me, why is Mick James dead? I'm like, go buy the fucking CD, you'll find out.
Hey, look, I love the accent. I love that you go buy the fucking CD. You fucking look, do some
funny.
Fucking work. Do some homework here before you ask me these stupid fucking questions. Get the fuck out of here. Look, you listen to one song, you see the name of it, and you got questions. Do your homework. Get the fuck out of here.
Hey, I'm from New York. We talk like this,
I was born in upstate New York, but I love New York.
That's not New York. Come on, that's not New York. That's another country.
I understand that, man. Come on, now. You can't knock me. I'm not a New Yorker. I'm from New York. All right.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It doesn't matter where you're from, as long as you love the rock and roll and you have a good heart. It's all good.
I love music. Long line of music. Actually, my uncle went to the Manhattan School of Music.
Oh, nice.
A degree. He's got a master's in music. Played with a big band back in the '60s. Love music.
So you mean he's like a real musician?
No, not a real. Hey, you don't have to go to school to be a real musician.
Well, that's what I'm saying. No. I'm not schooled at all.
I've never been. I took it in junior high school and elementary school. Learned how to play a trombone a little bit, but no, I didn't learn how to play the bass guitar through school.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
Thunder, I would bet $20 that Mick James here knows who your uncle is.
Oh, who is he?
He probably would. You ever heard of the band Blood, Sweat, and Tears?
Of course.
My uncle was their keyboard trombone player.
Are you kidding? That's awesome. You got to love that. I actually have some famous uncles in my family as well. I've been blessed with great uncles. With the only Italian guy in the band was my uncle who was in the Tito Puente's band for 35 years or 45 years. He was the band leader. He was in college with Tito. They were roommates, became best friends, and he was a trumpet player and band manager for 45 years in the Tito Puente's band. So he was out there touring the world the entire my uncle Jimmy Fazora, and then there was another uncle Frankie Ford, who was his brother, who was also on a bunch of TV shows, All in the Family, and I know the name very well. It jumps out at me. I'm trying to picture a face here. Yeah, he used to hang out with the Rat Pack. There's pictures of him and Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra when they were really young, hanging out. Pictures of them when they got older, and he was all over.
Tough guys, man.
Yeah, and he was an all-around kind of. He was a musician, a comedian, an actor, and he did all these different things. And my whole mother's side of my family is completely musical, so you're coming from that background. Yeah, you get it.
Yeah.
a little
the
nutty.
Music, artistic side, yeah. You gotta love it. My cousin, she's been in a couple bands out there. She's out in L.A. doing her thing. She's out touring right now with some guys. She's more on the hip hop kind of jazzy hip hop side.
Nice.
Which is cool. I mean, not my type of music. I like a little more, rougher, raw kind of rock and roll side. But I mean, good music's good music. I mean.
Yeah, I do it all. I actually do a lot of hip-hop and R&B and pop stuff as well, and looking to get more into that. I write songs for people, so it's like whatever they like, and I do like all kinds of music. I think that's one reason I've been somewhat successful in the behind-the-scenes writing thing, because I kind of like a lot of different types of music. I don't just like, for me personally, I couldn't see doing anything other than what I'm doing, like a rock industrial kind of, heavy rock thing. That's what I personally like to do, and my voice leans towards. But writing music, I can write anything. I love everything from southern rock to hip hop and R&B, really poppy stuff. I mean, I dig it all,
To make money, you got to be versatile, especially when you're working for the film industry, or like my uncle when he got out of Blood, Sweat, and Tears. For years, he worked in L.A. doing jingles for commercials.
I'm sure there's big money in that. He's smart. That's the way you make money in music. There's no money in being in bands unless you make it huge. I mean, he did. So, but yeah, it's always the songwriting thing is big if you can get into it. And I was lucky enough to get the opportunity to work with Criss, and that opened up a lot of doors to place music on a lot of other networks. And it's been good in that aspect. Like a lot.
Your resume is unbelievable right there. I mean, with the Criss Angel, MTV Cribs, and all that. I mean, huge.
Yeah, it's constantly growing. There's always new shows that are being added.
I got to ask a question. One of the things that in your bio that wasn't really all that clear was you did something with CBS with the NFL having to do with the New York Jets. What was that?
Well, what happened was I placed actually a lot on CBS. I placed on a lot of sports, not just Jet games, but all football games. Like anything on NBC and CBS, I placed on football games, a lot of basketball games, March Madness, all that things. But the reason that was put in there was because the Jets, when they were in the playoffs, I don't know how many years ago it was, maybe 3, 4, maybe even 5 or more years at this point. I didn't even know. I don't really follow sports that much. They were in the playoff game, and that's one of my songs was used, during right before the commercials and after the commercials a lot. And it was really exciting because the funny story about it was I was in L.A., and I was in NAM, and I was coming back from NAM, and I was a layover somewhere. I don't even know where it was. It might have been Texas or something like that. And I got off the plane, and my phone was blowing up like crazy. My brother, my friends, like 20 people were calling me, and they were saying, and I couldn't get reception in the airport. And I went to a restaurant, and I'm sitting there, and I'm talking to some guy, and he was from NAM as well, and we're having this conversation about what I do and what he does, and we're talking, and right above us, the Jet game is on, the playoff game. But with the sound was off because it was in like a restaurant bar kind of thing. So we're talking and talking. Finally, I get reception. I turn my phone on, and all these messages. Did you hear it? Did you hear it? They played your song on the Jet game, the playoff game, blah, blah, blah. And they were playing it over and over. And, I was right underneath the game, and I didn't hear it because the sound wasn't on. So, it's just funny. I'm sitting there, and the Jet game's on, and they're playing my music, and I had no idea. So, luckily other people caught it, and they got to see it and got a thrill out of it, and that was pretty exciting. But I've also did like World Series stuff. I mean, not World Series, Super Bowl. We did a big piece on the Super Bowl, like a minute and a half piece that we got through NBC.
Which Super Bowl?
I don't remember. It was like 4 years ago. I'm not even a fan. I got to be honest. I'm not going to lie. I'm not a big sports guy. But I think it was CBS actually hired me and another guy, buddy of mine, and we got a minute and a half piece that was put on. And it was about the history of the NFL from day one to now, and music that reflected that period. So we actually got a minute and a half. And if you think about that, people pay millions and millions of dollars for like 20 seconds with commercials. So it was a thrill. I mean, that was pretty exciting.
You didn't have to pay a damn thing.
What's that? I'm sorry, guys. I couldn't hear you.
That's all right. It happens when we've got everybody that's on the show in different places. But I was saying that you didn't have to pay a damn thing, and you've been playing on the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty exciting. Again, like I'm not a big sports guy, so but it's just to know that your stuff's being played. And I mean, there's millions and millions of people hearing that. So it's pretty exciting. I mean that kind of thing. And even March Madness is a big, huge basketball thing every year, and they use so many pieces for that. They constantly use my stuff. I think I placed like 71 times last year on sports things, different sports shows. So it's pretty exciting,
Oh, absolutely. That's awesome.
That's awesome. So this, what was? Okay. Got derailed there. I guess it was you have mail.
You gotta love it.
Derailed there for a second. Let's go ahead and take a break and let's play that new song.
Oh, great! Do you want me to set up a little about the song, or?
Please. Yeah, go ahead. Give us a little setup on this real quick.
This is a song called "Guess What You're Dead." This is a song that also features Tony Harnell from TNT. If you guys remember him from the '90s, I know you guys were saying that you're one of your favorite singers, and he's actually doing a reunion tour right now. All over the world, which is very successful. They're packing people like crazy. But the song itself was one of the songs that once we came up with the title, I originally wrote this song for somebody for hire. Somebody asked me to write it for a movie they were making. I wrote the song, put it on the side. It was one of the first songs I ever sang on. And I didn't necessarily think of using it as my own song in any way, shape, or form. However, when this title, Mick James is Dead, came into play, the song itself, this song sparked a lot of the idea for the movie. So it's a very pivotal song in the actual, ended up being a very big song in the movie and a very big idea for the whole entire concept. So, again, it's vague. People hear the lyrics. They're not going to get everything in one shot. But it gives you the tone and mood of it all. And I hope everybody digs it.
Well, that's nothing. That's really nothing to be ashamed of, or, well, ashamed is the wrong word, but worried about is the right word. I've been a Queensryche fan for a couple decades, and I still don't know Operation Mindcrime completely. So
that's even more vague. I mean, people will get this when they see the movie. You don't want to put it all out there. What's happening? Everybody has their little conceptions, like we were saying. But reality, when you see the movie, of course, obviously it'll all become clear. And we don't want to give it all away. I mean, there's a lot of photos out there.
Well, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, there's a lot of photos out there. And stuff like that, and the music itself, and we put little pieces out there here and there, and little videos. We're doing a video for this now too. Guess What You're Dead will be the next video, and that's in progress. So when people see that, they'll get a little more of the picture. And and again, it's not the movie. Like even the first one looks like it's from the movie. It's just a teaser we put together in video, but the movie itself is really done with real movie company, with a real movie and the whole 9 yards. So, but enjoy the song. I hope everyone digs it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it was a cool concept right there. Go ahead. Anyway, go ahead, Bill. I'll chime in when we come back, man.
Okay.
You got it.
This is Guess What You're Dead. This is the world premiere of Guess What, You're Dead by Mr. Mick James here, and we'll be right back on the Will and Thunder Show.
That's Mick James, bitch.
Welcome back to the Will and Thunder Show. That, of course, is Mick James and the song "Guess What, You're Dead." I feel pretty freaking alive right now at the moment. This is awesome. I'm having a hell of a lot of fun right now.
Yeah, man. Look, man, that is so well done right there, man. You were talking about how you get the vocals together right there, and it matches well together, man.
Yeah, it was actually funny when Tony said, hey, let me try some things on it, and he called me and said, Mickey, this is really dark. This is a lot darker than what I normally do. You might have to mess with the vocal a little bit, and I listened to it back, and I go, is he kidding me? It sounds fucking great. I loved it. And
yeah, that's
I really
awesome,
didn't.
Man.
Yeah, I didn't have to do much to it at all. I just kind of mixed it the way I wanted it, and it really, it sounded great. It really was a thrill again. And like we talked about earlier, there's some other guests on some other songs that are just, really, really an honor to have these guys on. It meant so much to me that they believed in it enough and saw me as a viable player to actually get on it.
Well,
absolutely.
You've had Tony Harnell, you've had Snake Sabo, which I respect the hell out of Skid Row and everything.
Great guy, great player. Yeah.
One of my favorite bands back in the day, man, was Skid Row.
Sure,
it's just a powerhouse they had. The combination of the music and the vocals right there. To this day, I would still throw in the original Skid Row or like Monkey Business. When they came out with that was just like,
great
preemptive
stuff.
of like Alice in Chains right there. You got to kind of some real heavy, but with melodic vocals. And I was like, what the? Oh, God, love it, man.
Yeah, they're definitely good stuff, and they're still out there doing their thing. They just did the Donington Festival in England. They I think it was like 75,000 people. They're out there doing great, and he's such a great guy for doing that out of his busy schedule. And same with, we also had Bumblefoot, who was from Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
And he, I was very excited.
Bumblefoot not only played with Guns N' Roses, he also toured with Tony Harnell for a while in the
yes.
What the hell is the name of that band? That's
I can't remember, but yes, it was Tony Harnell's side thing.
The Wildflowers?
Yeah, something like that. The Wildflowers or something. Yeah. And really cool stuff, acoustic.
Mhm.
And he was just he was so great as well. He did such an amazing job, and again took the song to another level. That's a song that's down further on the CD called "I Can't Get No Rest in Peace." And again, what an honor! I mean, he was coming off the road in between doing like massive festival shows and stadium shows with Guns N' Roses, and then he laid down a track in between on his time off, and I couldn't be more thankful of that. He was such a humble guy. All these guys were really laid back and cool and mellow. I mean, not that I met guys who aren't. Don't get me wrong, but every one of these guys were. And
that's some of the people who remember where they came from. They remember being the guy outside. Wanting to be, at the concerts, wanting to be the guy up there. And they make it up there, and they're humbled. They're humbled to be able to do what they love. I mean, it's the same thing in every other business in the United States right here. You got certain guys that are really good lawyers, and they do it because they love what they do. And you got other ones that are assholes.
Oh, no doubt.
What they can do to you, But I mean, it's the same thing with music right there. You have that love for it, and sometimes you get the better of yourself. And I'll tell you what, the character you're playing in that movie right there, the video that I saw, it totally blew my mind because when I watched that video, I wasn't really under the concept of that you were playing a character into it. I mean, I understood you were, but, I'm like, yeah, this is another typical fucking asshole rock star kind of guy. Look at me. I got my jacket with my name on it right there.
See, I'm not a bad actor. I'm a good actor.
No, not at all. Not at all. You're like, yeah, okay, well, come on. Let's, I mean, and I was like, so when I was getting ready for the interview, I'm like, all right, this guy from New York, he's played with, Criss Angel, and he's done this, and he's worked with all these musicians. He's going to be like, yeah, what do you guys want to know kind of thing. You're just a laid-back, cool-ass guy, man. I'm like, well, what's going on? You're a character.
It's funny. I've always been an extremely shy kid growing up, and, being in music and being on stage and everything has changed that over the years, of course. I've become a lot more outgoing. And funny enough, the acting thing, I never in a million years ever wanted to be an actor or thought I would ever get into it. And it kind of happened as a fluke. I started getting, asked to do little appearances on TV shows and little cameos in movies. And I was like, well, let's try it out. And every time I was on camera, everyone kept telling me, you're natural on camera. You're really, I'm certainly not De Niro, but I have a natural feel, and people are like, wow, you're really natural on camera. If you could do this. And so it gave me the idea that, look, you know what, here's this movie, I have this idea, and I really think I could do it. And the more and more time I get, and there's a lot of things I see when I do videos or I'm on camera. I mean, it's me, so I look at it and I wince a little sometimes and go, oh my God, what the fuck did I say there? What did I do?
Right.
But that's a lot of people don't catch that kind of thing, and I think the more and more I do it, the better I feel, and the more comfortable I get at it. And I'm really, really looking forward to to carry a movie, be a star in a movie. It is insane that people are giving me this opportunity to do so. So it's the whole thing's a thrill, And the funny thing is, there's already another movie that I've already written the outline for, and have a couple songs in the works that my next project will be a movie as well, completely different. But I'll be playing a completely different character. But it seems to become something that just keeps coming out of me as a whole. It's just this creative bone in me that now seems like at least these first 2 CDs will be synonymous with movies. From there, I don't know. Will the third album be with a movie? I have no idea. I don't know.
Well, one cool thing, like right now, one thing that's kind of coming back in the movie industry is musicals. And I know that, the ones that have come into light recently are, more lighthearted, kid-oriented, or, choral, kind of like Glee kind of thing. But this is something that you've taken a guy like me and Will. I'm 5'6", bald-headed, tattooed guy, and I'm going to see a musical. And this,
you know what?
That you could even take and bring to Broadway, even. Kind of like the whole what's the name of the movie with Tom Cruise?
Yeah. Well, that was probably the worst. Rock of Ages. Yeah, that was probably the worst example. But truth is,
but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
exactly.
No, definitely. I mean, there's talks about putting this into a Broadway situation as well. The truth of the matter is, it's kind of funny. I initially did not embrace the word musical, but the truth of the matter is that it is a musical in the sense the character does sing in the movie. That makes it a musical. That's what the definition of a musical is. There's rock. The Who was it was a rock opera because everybody sang. There was no dialogue. It was all singing. Everything was sung.
Exactly.
Then you got like Pink Floyd The Wall, which is another historical movie. Which didn't have any dialogue in it. It just was all telling the story through the songs, which is amazing. But it's not necessary. But I guess it's a musical in the sense that the character sings in the song, and or maybe not even. They just kind of show them acting while the songs are playing. But there's all these different types of things out there. But I'm okay with it in the sense that it's a lot like per se Rocky Horror in that sense of things. Which
is one of the greatest movies of all. I remember being a kid, man, and where Will and I grew up, there was 3 or 4 different theaters that you could pick on a weekend in our, hour drive around. You do the circle, and you found 4 or 5 theaters that did the Rocky Horror with the live action, and
it's crazy. And it was a very underground thing that came up. But I mean, the thing for me is it's like that in a sense, but completely different, obviously. But it's a dark fantasy thriller, really.
Yeah.
So in reality, it's a musical because the character does sing in the movie. So if that's what
it's got to be called. But if you look at the past and everything, look at the Phantom of the Opera. How dark was that?
Sure.
In all reality, one of the greatest, and that that's a true musical. I understand the difference of what you're talking about. But I mean, how is it to feel? You're from New York City, the home of
Broadway,
the stage of the live stage, the home of Broadway. And if you started out with a concept, and you started with this album, and it comes to a movie, and if your idea was to become a Broadway sensation, I mean, it must be kind of cool. I mean, look, I'm a guy from New York right here. I'm just this little Italian guy who started playing music, and all of a sudden, look where I'm at right now.
Well, you know what?
That's the American dream right there. That's where you're going to take little kids who don't know what they want to do, and they're going to pick up a guitar.
Sure. I mean, it's all a possibility to be developed. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, the first thing that I'm very happy to say right now is the live band, the musicians have been picked. I mean, on the CD, I played everything except for, and I have to mention my buddy Bobby Rondinelli also played on the record. He played 4 songs on the drums. For anybody not familiar with him, he's played with everybody from Black Sabbath,
everybody,
Blue Oyster Cult, Scorpions, Aerosmith. He's played with everybody. So to have him on the CD, and he did 4 songs, was really like a thrill. And he's a local guy here in New York, and he's in my studio all the time because he gets hired for a lot of stuff and uses my studio as his studio of choice, which I'm very proud of. And so, him being in the studio, I had him playing the songs that were literally nothing but a click track and, a couple of little tiny pieces, and I'd be like, can you play to this? And you didn't even know what he was playing there half the time, and it still ended up coming out like ridiculous. And, big honor. But, on the CD itself, besides drums, I played all the instruments, besides the special guest, so it took me a minute to kind of get a band together. Now we started rehearsing. It's going to be a 3-piece in me, a guitar player, bass player, drummer, and myself. I'm going to potentially play guitar on occasions, but for the most part, I'm just going to be singing. And it's really going to be exciting because we're talking now with a bunch of different people to get me on the road, and we're looking at some pretty major touring. I don't know what or where yet. There's nothing solid booked in stone, but that's definitely happening. The live band is in rehearsal mode and looking to bring this to the stage. And when we do, it's not just going to be a regular show. It's going to be the show. It might be modest at first, but pending, if it's a warm-up for a national tour, I mean, you can't do your full show, but we will be doing a version of it, if you will. So it's going to be really cool,
Awesome. Before we continue, I got to get a little shout out here. I don't know if I told you this when we spoke on the phone last week. Actually it was a couple weeks ago when I booked you, but I'm going to make a YouTube podcast out of this. And with a slideshow that goes as as people are listening.
Goes along with it,
yeah. I used the 4 pictures that you sent me.
Yeah.
But there's a lady who is a friend of yours. I don't know if you know her personally or if she's just a really big fan. But I found literally just about every picture that I needed on her Facebook page. And her name is. Do you want to take a guess at who it is?
Is it Felicia?
No.
Nair?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, both of them actually helped me a lot. They're not just fans. They also really help me behind the scenes, post a lot of stuff. One's in Puerto Rico, one's in Argentina, and they've just been. The beauty of what I've been very blessed with is having fans all over the world who have been so amazing to me. Some of which have become part of my team, like those two, who've been doing various different things, posting different things. Felicia has been helping me in so many different ways, there's just not enough hours in the day to really get out there. And Nair has been doing both of them do some crazy fan art. And, the tremendous amount of fan art just from fans alone has been overwhelming. The fact that they pimp me out and they tweet me and they repost my stuff 24/7. Not just them, all my fans. It's really amazing because that's why it's becoming such a great thing, because it's a small culty kind of following right now, but it's building. We're getting anywhere from 150 to 250 people a week on my fan page because these amazing fans and friends and some of them that have now become part of my team have really been, posting my stuff everywhere. And it's ridiculous. I've had people come up to me in the supermarket locally here, and, I've been living here in the same area for forever, and it's people come up to me hey, you Mick James? And I'm like, yeah, how do you know who I am? They're like, oh, you're all over the Internet. And, it's funny, I have to thank these girls because they're out there pimping me out that even locally I'm getting noticed now. So it's pretty funny and it's pretty cool. And they're
that's
also
one of those things,
amazing.
yeah, we Will and I have talked about. There's the plus and minus. I a love-hate relationship with the whole YouTube thing, because when you have a musician like yourself who's actually taken the time to become a musician and put the work in and do what become an artist, become a master of your craft, and put it on YouTube, it's so much easier for Will and I to find great musicians like that. But on the same aspect, you have these young guys who buy a guitar and 2 weeks later they've learned a cover of Smoke on the Water and they want to throw that out on YouTube.
Sure, of course. You get everything. You know what? The beauty is that the Internet is there. When years ago it wasn't there. No one had that affordability. Now it's there. Anybody could put a video up. You can reach anybody around the world. And, I choose to do so, of course. I find bands that have, it's just me up until now. I've recently landed management, which I'm very excited about, and they're doing some great things. But, for years it was just me and people who wanted to help me out of their heart. And I don't understand when people have 5 guys in a band and they don't post everywhere. And
right. Well, I was telling Will the other day, we've only hold on, give me 1 second, buddy, and I'll let you carry on. Like Will and I were talking about the other day, we've done a lot social media wise to try and get this radio thing going. Right here, we've only been doing this for 7 months now, 7-8 months.
Nice.
And it's really cool when you go out there and you search down there and I'm trying to find information on this and everything. We can pull up our show and you've got a page of stuff that shows different information on you. That's awesome. When we were kids and we were in bands, and we're playing, around the local bars or, doing our music scene, you're sitting there doing posters and you're, stapling to, telephone poles and this, that, and the other thing. It was
Sure.
such a different world back then,
Sure,
man.
sure.
I mean, you went there and you did a recording, on a little boom box right there that sounded like garbage, and you thought you had something.
Well, you know what? The one thing that remains, though, which is true even with the internet, the one thing that remains is back in the day, a lot of bands that made it, no matter who they were, even if they were getting a lot of radio play, even if they had albums out on major labels, there were bands that were out there that had 4 and 5 albums out until they kicked it big. And, I mean, there's a lot of bands, in history. Bands that, today have never been afforded that, Styx, bands like that. Those guys had albums out, so many albums out before they finally broke. Kiss had like 3-4 albums out. All these bands would have never. Today, you get one shot, you put out a record, it doesn't do good, you're done, with a label. And the truth is, the one thing that does remain through that has stayed true, even with the internet, is word of mouth is king. When people are talking about you and they're spreading the word, and the internet just makes it catch on fire that much quicker. But it really is when people are pimping you out and talking about you. That's when shit happens.
Like back in the day with the Sunset Strip with Motley Crue, and then did the whole bunch that came out of that time. It was who's played at this club, and it was word of mouth. Look, and you knew, and you could see by the front door how many people heard about this.
No doubt, no doubt.
You get there on the Sunset Strip.
We have a phone call. We're going to go ahead and take it right now. 3, 2, 1, go. Hello.
3, 2, 1, area code. You're on.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Hello. Are you there? Come on in. We're waiting for you.
You know what? It was my fault. There's somebody.
Okay.
There's somebody listening on the phone. And it was my fault.
Well, that's all right. Well, thank you for listening, and hit the one button, man. Come on in, come talk to us a little bit, man. Be a part of this thing.
I'm sorry. That was for me.
Will, are you talking again? I thought I just heard you.
I'm gonna.
Anyway, no, I'm just kidding. But anyway, the one good thing about social media, man, is it does, it keeps things going right there, man. It does, but on the other aspect, there are a lot of people out there who don't put the work in anymore, You got these kids out there who will put a band together and they'll play a little bit in the garage and they'll throw a couple songs together and throw it on YouTube. When we were kids, 20-plus years ago, you'd go out there and you'd go in the garage, play your music, and then you'd take it out. You'd take it out somewhere, and then try and pay your dues and sell it to everybody so you can get that word of mouth kicking.
Sure.
And, it was awesome, man.
You gotta love it.
Absolutely, man.
So are there any sorry about that. Are there any other bands that I know you were telling me that you started off as a bass player. Are there any other
Lord.
Thunder here, is awesome bass player, and he feels he doesn't get enough respect. But
no. Bass, it's just a bass player thing, You're in the background.
Come on, we know all the bass players get laid the most. Come on, tell them about it, Thunder. Come on.
We got look. We got better fingers and better rhythm. It's just the way it is.
They just hate it, The bass players get over with it. Come on.
But here's the way. Hold on. Here's the way it works right here. Yeah, the guitar player can show out for a couple seconds at a time, but a bass player is steady. He's got better fingers and better rhythm. It's simple as that.
Sure, there you go.
The singer can use his tongue
that drop.
The singer can use his tongue for like 3 hours straight. Okay.
Oh, whatever. Drink some milk.
What were you saying? Well, ask the question.
Are there any bands that you might have played with in your early days as a musician that are that have made headlines?
Not really. Most of the bands I was in were just local bands and stuff like that. The last band I was in a band with my brother for years. And we toured all over Europe, and we did like 5 different countries in Europe, and we did some stuff in Canada and different places like that. And the biggest claim to fame with that band, it was a band called Earth Eats Dog, we had it was a funky rock band. We had a great following in Europe, and we had a great time in Europe. Sold a lot of merch, packed a lot of clubs. We went there like 3 times. We played in Czech Republic, Poland, Belgium, Holland, mostly Germany. Like I was saying, Canada, the Virgin Islands we played in, all over, different places in the States and stuff like that. And, we did a lot of good stuff, but what really happened was when we never really disbanded. We still do shows here and there. It's me and my brother and the other guys in the band became brothers. Same guys for close to like 10, 15 years or whatever it was. And, in the last 5 years or so, I've been doing my own thing. So everybody's kind of joined different bands and whatnot. But the test of, reality is a lot of the music I place on TV shows is Earthy Dog material that me and my brother had written. So it's not just stuff that I do. It's a testimony to say this was a great band. It should have got signed, but too many industry people got their heads in the ass and didn't catch it that we were out there doing all these things on our own, and we had some great songs, and networks are picking these songs like crazy to be on TV shows. And, it should have got a deal, but it didn't, and that's the way it goes. You kind of move on, and, as some of the other guys started winding down, thinking that maybe they didn't want to do it for a career and they wanted to do it for fun, I was winding up with the Criss Angel stuff and wanted really to do something on a much bigger scale and level. And this is was really looking to take this all over the world. I mean, we're looking to tour all over the world with this thing. So, it's that was the biggest claim to fame with that band. But to this day, that music gets placed as much as my own stuff does. So it's really great. I knew it was great stuff, and everybody else did. If somebody would have gave the band a shot, things might have been different. But that's the way the music business rolls. It's unfortunate. A lot of people who are famous have famous relatives or rich relatives, and it's not an opinion; it's a fact. That everybody from like the guy who recently saw a TV show blew me away, like the guy in Maroon 5, his dad's a millionaire, this guy, all these guys, who's the country singer, the girl is a really pretty girl, I can't remember her name, the blonde-haired singer who's always crying about every guy she dates. What the hell's her name? You got to know who I'm talking about. It's a big country singer.
I know who you're talking about, but
whatever her name is, like
Swift, something.
Yeah, Taylor Swift.
Right.
Her dad was loaded and bought the record company that she was signed to, and put like invested 3/4 of your money that was invested in. That's really in reality like 90% of people who actually make it big are either friends or relatives of somebody rich or famous. So
but someone's connected, right?
There's these indie labels, these small labels that are popping up with some pretty big bands, like, for example, Pavement, which we had a guest on, King Shifter. They're ever expanding and everything, and they're living the good life of a rock star at the moment.
Sure.
However good that is. There's also, not to mention, like, Century Media, another one that signs like a whole bunch of like really big bands. Like Queensryche's toured signed to that label now. So is the Agonist. They're signed to that label now, and I mean it's just a matter of time before all these little labels wind up with enough money to sufficiently promote and push their plans.
Well, the industry's not like it used to be. I mean, back in the day, you had to have a label, and now I've done it really with my own label as of now. I've gotten a bunch of offers with labels, and nothing that I want to jump at just yet. But I mean, it's kind of like the truth of the matter is, if you're out there and you're in touch with the people, they're going to buy your CD anyway, and why share it with them and take $1? And sit there and put all the hard work and all whole thing into it, and a lot of bands are indie now, or working with smaller labels. Even bigger artists are working with smaller labels because it's just, the amount of money you make on sales doesn't compare to a tour,
Yeah. It's amazing how how over the past like 10 years or so, it's just the media, actually 15. It started to change, I guess, about 5 years ago, maybe. But how the whole record industry and everything was just pretty much, deciding who was going to make it, who wasn't, who was going to, and what people were going to be listening to. Basically, force feeding whatever the hell, their writers actually wanted to write at the moment down everybody's throats. ridiculous. But now, like people look, no. I'm sorry, I don't want to hear the same 4-chord crap played over and over again with a different auto-tuned voice.
Sure, of course.
I mean, I hate American Idol. I hate shows like that. But whatever. It's just a matter. They're on borrowed time, in my opinion. It's just going to be.
Well, it's a different world. Yeah, it's a different world.
People are going to wake up. People are going to wake up. I'm hoping.
I hear you. It's definitely, there's different markets for different things, and you'd never have a guy like me singing on American Idol and get anywhere past the audition. So that's
right.
Like they look like me, like who the fuck is this guy? What's going on here?
On American Idol, I mean, I'm over 40, so I'm probably too old anyway. But on American Idol, I mean, I'm pretty sure that I would make it to Hollywood. But when they wanted to make me jump through all those damn hoops that they make those kids jump through and everything, I feel like, you know what, just go fuck yourself.
It's a different
world.
You have long hair and you have tattoos and you play with the guitar, Black Widow, BC Rich, but we want you to play James Brown. That's not what I do. I thought this was a talent show about music and singing. Well, I have talent and I sing, but I don't sing that. Why do you want me to do Eminem when I play a 7-string guitar? It doesn't make sense.
Sure.
Well, speaking of guitars, you've got your own line of guitars out right now?
Yes, I actually designed the guitar, my own signature model. It's called the Levitation 7. Well, I play 7 strings, but they also make a Levitation 6. And we're in the middle of getting a new company to make them, actually. And, they're super cool. They're the ones I use in my video and just really cool shape.
Is that the one that kind of curves downward on the, on both ends of the body right there? It's a really sharp edge that's on it.
Yeah, it's got a cut.
The one on the bottom of your web page right there. That's kind of on the bottom right there. It's like a reddish stain to it.
Probably. It's more the ones you always see me in pictures with. Yeah, every picture of me. There's once in a while I jump up on stage with somebody and there's a picture of me playing someone else's guitar, but for the most part, most of the promos pictures are always with my own guitars, and it's a bass version as well. And yeah, they're beautiful. It's actually funny because it's become my logo. So we've had pendants made that the character wears, and a lot of fans have been buying the pendants and wearing them. What's that? The
same guitar that's on the logo on the back of the jacket in the video.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, that's what I was thinking of, yeah.
The beauty is that people don't even realize that that's actually part of the character and storyline. The logo is part, the guitar itself, the pendant, and the logo is part of the whole movie. So they're wearing these things, and then when they get to see the movie, they're going to be like, wow, that's
I've
cool.
got that. Oh, look at that. Yeah, and I like how you're doing this right here, because what you're doing is here, it's just like you're fishing right now.
I'm fucking everyone's head up. I'm making you guess.
Oh, here it is right here. I got a little bait right here. I'm going to dip it in the water a little bit. I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to dip it back in the water right there. All right, now I got a bobber. And you guys keep biting at that fucking bait, and then when I finally get you in, you're fucking mine. I love the whole concept. It's awesome, man.
Well, we're just trying to make it exciting for everybody,
Well, the greatest thing is, you know what, 90% of the time, especially with movies nowadays, you watch the, 15-second, 30-second commercial on TV, and it's the best parts of the movie. What you're doing right now is throwing out some ideas to get everybody's mind going, but the best is, waiting for last right there.
Sure.
And that's something that's been lost from the movie and music scene for a long time right there.
You gotta love it.
Let me read you something from my blog over at WilliamTelltale.blogspot.com. Cha-ching. And one of these days I'll put the little cha-ching sound up in it. But
and you can get me at Kevin Thunder on Twitter. And never mind, I'm just playing.
Kevin Thunder WATS or at Kevin Thunder WATS.
I was just playing. You don't have to go with that. If they need to find me on Facebook with Kevin Thunder, you'll find the bald guy with the evil-looking face, and that's me.
Well, you need to learn how to use Twitter. Anyway,
okay.
But I'm going to read the first paragraph of my review of this album, Mick James is Dead.
Nice.
And I'm also going to read, your response response to it that you sent me on Facebook, if that's okay.
Sure.
Okay. Well, the very first line...
I didn't call you any funny names or anything, did I? No, I'm only kidding. Go ahead.
No, actually, you know what? I've heard all these...
Mick, don't worry about it. I do that enough for the both of us right there every day. It's all good. Like, I've known this guy since he was 4 years old here. All right? We grew up together right there. I've called him everything in the book. Look, I've called him things that his ex-wife didn't call him.
You got to love it. Like they say, friends fight more like brothers. It's all good.
That's all true.
Exactly
we are brothers.
Right
that's what makes us work. Anyway, but now you didn't call me anything. But however, I keep hearing this boom. You know, you getting messages and everything on Facebook. I'm wondering what your fans are calling us. Like, these guys are a bunch of knuckleheads, a bunch of stupid idiots who don't know anything. You know, what are they saying?
It's been pretty laid back. I'm sure I'll hear more about it after the show.
All right. Let us know. Yeah. If it's good, let us know. If not, look, just pretend it was a good time, all right?
Still let us know. But anyway, the first paragraph of my review of Mick James is Dead is there have been all sorts of concept albums released over the years with just as many great concepts. A trip into the drug-induced nightmare of a spoiled rocker into a criminal mastermind who brainwashes a kid into committing many murders of politicians, a man who's going through a psychotic experience as he cares for his grandmother, and many more. However, there's never been one from a first-person account of dying until now. Mick James is Dead is just that. It's a sleaze rock home video of the artist's tragic demise. And of course, I mean, I was talking about Operation Mindcrime. I was talking about The Wall, and I was also talking about King Diamond's Them.
Gotcha.
But your reply to that was.
It's somewhere on the internet. What was going to snoop?
Damn, I thought I had enough, but I didn't. I was trying to multitask. Anyway, you said that you were smiling as you read the thing, and and what you touched on before about how everybody has a different interpretation about it and everything, and that's really freaking awesome. I mean, the buzz that you're creating about this, about this album.
Well, it's been a long time in the works. It's just going on like 5 years now. So it's been talked about and finally coming out, and people still don't really understand the full concept of it until really, again, the movie comes out. That'll be the telltale of it all,
Right.
And that right there, I'm telling you right now, not just because you're a guest on our show, but honestly, the whole concept idea of the movie really, really intrigues me. I mean, that's something that, it's not horror. It's more suspense lined right there with a little fun and rock and roll involved in there. And the whole idea of what happens afterward.
Well, definitely. It's definitely,
That's the cool. And the amount of things you can do, with the cinematography on the afterlife is endless right there. I mean, nobody knows.
Sure.
So you can put whatever spin.
Look at the cover of the album. He looks like a zombie.
Yeah, but just look at it. Just think of the endless possibilities you have of any kind of afterlife right there because nobody knows, and you can put any spin on it that you want right there.
Well, that's why it's considered a fantasy. It's very dark, but it's a fantasy. It's funny enough. Those are my favorite kind of movies, or just like fantasy type of movies. And that's really what it is. It's the my version of what might happen if I did die, or not me per se, the character. We got to make that distinction. It's not me. But it's very close. It is very close to my real life in the sense that I am a musician, obviously, and I've been through a lot of.
I wonder why you didn't have an area code when you called in. Where are you calling from there?
What, were they called in now?
No, I'm joking, man. I was like, you're calling from another different place or a different dimension or a different plane. It was kind of a
I've always
right
thought
there on your movie right there. There you go. I was just trying to add to the suspense of everything.
Yeah, no, but it's definitely it's a very interesting story and a very interesting concept, and it's you know, it's got a lot of different twists and turns and a lot of really cool things that happen, and it takes it in different areas and through different emotions, and you know, really looking to get it out there and done properly, you know.
Absolutely, and you know, and that's what I'm saying. I asked you earlier if this is going to be an independent film or if you guys were, you know, trying to go full-fledged on this with the studios and everything. And I really think this is something that would, not just through a musician's eyes. I mean, they'd love it because, you know, you have the insight on the music field, but anybody would enjoy that movie right there. I mean, the whole idea of it, you know, here's a superstar, whether it be a musician, actor, whatever, you go on the musician side of it. After they pass away, you know, when you think that you're bigger than God at times,
exactly.
And then all of a sudden, guess what?
Well, it's like a.
Yep.
It's like
now I have to answer for, you know, I really have to think, you know, where does this go from here? Because I thought I was bigger than the world. That's awesome.
A heavy metal version of Dante's Inferno.
I haven't seen that, but I'll have to check it out.
No, I mean, not even really. I mean, Dante's Inferno. I was thinking of a different movie. Never mind. But yeah, you're right, Bill. I mean, it's just that little, because everybody will think in a way of, look, this is how I'm living my life, and you know, I think I'm greater than this or greater than that, and this is what might happen.
It's true, and no one really knows. Like the song says, no one really knows, you know, when you're going to die or what to expect in the afterlife, and that's the truth, you know. None of us know until we actually do it. So,
exactly.
You know.
And you know what? You can't tweet about it. You can't throw it on Facebook or anything like that about what happened afterward.
Right. No, definitely not. Definitely not.
That wouldn't be.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, initially, you know, I thought to myself, like, look, you know, I've had interest from the very beginning in the movie end of it, but, you know, there's people who talk shit, and there's people who say they're going to do it, and then they're not going to do it. You don't know. You're waiting on this guy. You're waiting on that guy. And at the end of the day, I mean, I would make it with my friends like I did the video. You know, if it came down to that, I would do it with an iPhone if I had to. I don't care. But I've been fortunate enough and lucky enough to have some people involved now that have access to budgets who really want to get a real serious budget and make a real movie out of it, and very, very excited.
Exactly.
Because I think it deserves it,
one of the
little
GoPro cameras, GoPro. I don't know what happened to my mouth. I had a mini stroke trying to say pro there. But instead of one of those little GoPro cameras, you can get an actual Panasonic film camera and actually, you know, do this on the right budget in the right way. That's awesome, man. Yeah,
I mean, you know, it'd be nice if you know, the actual movie came out at the same time as the CD, but unfortunately, you know, budget pending and being an indie artist and all that, you know, it wasn't possible.
You'll definitely see a resurgence in CD sales when you know, once the movie comes out.
Well, that's definitely the beauty of it. I mean, the stage show supports the movie and the CD. The CD supports the stage show and the movie, and vice versa. So it's really like a good.
Yourself, you know, you're feeding your own monster right there.
Yeah, it definitely does a lot of cool cross platforming, which is really cool. Because I mean, if I personally was to see the stage show, I'd be like, I got to see this movie, you know, and vice versa. I mean, you know, so. And, you know, at the end of the day, a lot of people ask me this. I've been asked this a million times. Honestly, I mean, regardless of the movie, regardless of the pictures, because I think the photos and the graphics, the guys I had do it were just so amazing what they did, and with the photos and everything, and all the concepts for, like, the CD art and all that. I mean, I got to be honest, all of that would mean nothing if the songs weren't good. And the bottom line for me is I'm a songwriter. That's what I do. So the songs are, you know, very well put together. Make a lot of sense, and really, the music is everything. If the music sucked, I don't care how good the movie was. It would be, you know, it would be kind of like, you know, half good. You know?
Well, the one thing you have, you know, you're loving musicianship, and you've been a musician all your life, and you play with bands with your brother and bands here, and you know, playing the bar scene and everything. You understand that side of the business. You understand that side of the music. But on top of that, you worked in an industry where you have to write for movies and commercials and, you know, TV shows, and know how to fit things in there. So this is kind of like you know, marriage put together in heaven right there of two of the, you know, strongest parts right there that'll work together, because as a musician, you know what you want the music to sound like, but you also know how to put it together to where it will work.
Oh, no doubt.
And
it was definitely a challenge.
Cinematography aspect.
Yeah, it was definitely a challenge. I mean, with this particular project, it started out where the lyrics to the songs were writing the movie, and then, halfway through the CD, the script kind of took off more and became, now all of a sudden I was writing songs to match the script. So it was kind of flipped over, but I do both aspects of that anyway, for different times. I mean, there's been many times where Criss Angel would ask me, can you come up with something for this particular piece? And now you're writing music to something like that. So, I mean, it's just something I've been doing all along. So it was a challenge, but it was definitely a challenge I was well up for and really, really proud of it.
To an extent because you had the experience. Which, I mean, that's where puts this whole thing together and makes it so viable right there, is having the experience to do that. I mean, you see a lot of bands that do concept albums, or a lot of bands that will try and make a movie. The biggest one, which is a band I really love, is Kiss. When they made that stupid movie they had.
Yeah.
Tried to make something out. What they did is they tried to follow their songs to make a movie, and you can't do that if it's not structured right.
Yeah, it was just a terrible, horrible story, and
exactly.
a piece of classic trash, unfortunately, because I love the band. But I mean,
so do I. I mean, I love Kiss as a band right there, but no, and I mean, I love Kiss, and it's hard for me to say that something they've done is trash. Besides all the toys and toy boxes and lunch boxes and everything else out there in the world.
That was genius. That was freaking genius.
It was genius. It was genius.
Now, that movie, the movie Kiss Meets the Phantom in the Park, trash.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead.
I mean, come on now. Look. I watched after-school specials that were better than that.
Well, of course.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was definitely pretty bad.
Go ahead and take a break and play the last song, and we'll come back and do the last segment.
Rock and roll, I do got to go soon, so let's...
All right, I got a big question for you about Criss Angel as soon as you come back.
Sure, you got it.
Awesome.
All right, man. All right, let's play...
This song is called I Don't Fight Fair, and we'll be right back on the Will and Thunder Show.
Fight! 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 Fight!
Hey, you there?
Blood dripping down on the side of your face. That gives me a rush I can take. I crush you and leave you disgraced. Your body and
Welcome back to the Will and Thunder Show, man. Another.
I love the little audience there. That's great.
Yeah, the live audience right here. Real quick, one thing. Before we go on, man, we got to do a little shout out right there to the man who made all this kind of stuff possible right there, the king of the radio, one of the greatest ever radio DJs. Kasem, man, passed away.
Oh, yeah.
And we got to give him a shout out. I mean, without him, man, I mean, radio was just, would have been nothing, man. I mean, the countdown back in the day was, as kids, you're waiting for that cross-country dedication and what song was big, what was going on in the music industry at the time. And God rest him, man.
Yeah, he's definitely, an American staple, so you hate to see a guy like that go.
Mick, I saw you post the other day on Facebook, or actually yesterday, about him, and you posted a certain video clip of a very human exchange that
yes.
that Casey Kasem had.
Well, I heard that years ago on the Howard Stern show, and I cracked up because he has such a calm, soothing voice, and that's why everybody loved him so much. He just had such a great voice. And his demeanor and everything, and then like behind the scenes, you see this guy's like a real guy, like everybody else. He's got his issues and his problems, and it humanized him to me a lot. I always thought it was hysterical because you'd never hear Kasem going off and saying "fuck this" and "fuck that." What do you do this shit to me for? And but it really just shows that he's just a guy. Everybody's just a guy. I think that you have to be humbled in your reality. And he was just a guy who had a great career, and he was around forever, and he did some great things, and very sad to see him go,
And I do have to say, yeah, I've got a little bit of the clip. I mean, the actual clip, like the whole meltdown that he had that showed he was human, was like 6.5 minutes long. I've got about 1.5 minutes of it, but you definitely get the point. But I kind of added something to it at the end for kind of a tribute to the guy. I mean, he did a lot of the cartoons that we grew up with and everything.
Sure.
So it's basically, Shaggy reacting to Casey Kasem.
Nice.
We're up to our long-distance dedication. And this one is about kids and pets and a situation that we can all understand, whether we have kids or pets or neither. It's from a man in Cincinnati, Ohio. And here's what he writes. Dear Casey, this may seem to be a strange dedication request, but I'm quite sincere, and it'll mean a lot if you play it. Recently, there was a death in our family. He was a little dog named Snuggles, but he was most certainly a part of... Let's start again. From coming out of the record. Play the record, okay? Please. See, when you come out of those up-tempo goddamn numbers, man, it's impossible to make those transitions, and then you got to go into somebody dying. They do this to me all the time. I don't know what the hell they do it for, but goddamn it, if we can't come out of a slow record, I don't understand it. Is Don on the phone? Okay, I want a goddamn concerted effort to come out of a record that isn't a fucking up-tempo record every time I do a goddamn death dedication. Now, make it, and I also want to know what happened to the pictures I was supposed to see this week. Since the last goddamn time, I want somebody to use his fucking brain to not come out of a goddamn record that is that's up tempo, and I got to talk about a fucking dog dying. Good boy.
Rest in peace, Casey Kasem.
Oh, definitely. That's such a great clip. Yeah, it's a lot longer, but that is a great clip. It's just, you'd never think, but he's just a guy,
Right.
Well, I mean, I could definitely.
With the job and everything. You gotta love it.
I can definitely understand him flipping out. It's like if he's playing like I don't know, Footloose. I'm trying to think.
Or Don't Stop Believing.
Don't Stop Believing, or
I mean something.
Danger Zone, or something like that. And all of a sudden he's got to do this.
Here's a story about a dog named Danger who could not get out of danger. He was hit by a car this week. And then he played Danger Zone. Like, come on out of here. You know?
Actually, you know what? That would have been a good transition. No, they probably set him up with, like, You Give Love a Bad Name or something like that.
That's all. It's crazy.
And then it's like, okay,
all right, my quick question on the other aspect of this was Criss Angel. You worked with him, for years right there, working music-wise. Now, I know it's really cool to watch on TV all the tricks he does. Has he ever, or is he as good in person as he is on TV, and has he ever just stumped you where you're like, man, that's bullshit. There's no way that you just did that. Get away from me right now because I don't trust you anymore. Because, I mean, you could make me disappear. You could make my arm come out of my forehead or some shit like that. And be like, look, man.
Well, I mean, bottom line is, I mean, he's very, very good at sleight of hand, misdirecting you and making you, look at something else. And he never really personally did too much on me. I've seen him do stuff to other people, and it's pretty mind-boggling. It's definitely, I mean, he's not known as one of the best magicians ever because he's not, amazing at what he does. He's definitely does some crazy things. Some of the real heavy stuff I haven't been at. I've been at some of the demonstrations and things like that, and you sit there and go, how did he do that? It's crazy. And but I really didn't get too much into actually getting done on me. I've just seen things and just was like kind of like blown away and pretty crazy and I mean he's coming originally from a street magician and then went into more elaborate things as time went on. So he's just as good with a coin trick or this or that or whatever than he is with cutting himself in half and whatever. You know what I mean? So he's
that's the things I like more. I like the upcoming stuff. The little things where it's more hands-on and face-to-face. Because you see the expression on some of these people's faces, and I know a lot of that is TV production and all that kind of stuff. Don't get me wrong, I'm not an idiot, but there's sometimes, man, where
you know what it is. You know what it is? It's changed over the years. When he first came out, he was a very, very dark, scary character. He had long dreads or braids and wore makeup, and people would see him. He'd walk up to people in the street and be like, "Hey, can I do a trick on you?" And they didn't know who the hell he was, and they would be scared of him. Even the people that let him do stuff. But now it's like everybody knows him. So now he's like this fun, happy family guy, and people, can I do a trick on you? Yes, Chris, please do a trick on me. It's it's a whole different. It's not the same as when he first came out. Nobody knew who he was, and he was very, very dark. And
you could really mess with people right there because they didn't know who you were. And that makes the illusion so much better. You're not famous. The whole David Copperfield Houdini thing. And it's fun when you watch it the first 3-4 times. What the hell's going on here? But, I mean, he's still, of all the magicians I've seen, he is one of the ones that have really boggled me with some of the things he's done.
Oh, definitely.
The up-close thing. And, I'm not going to ask you any of the secrets are going to be wrong here, but I was just wondering if you had ever been around him and seen him done something, and you'd be like, look, man, I was right here, and I know he's going to do something here, but I still can't figure it out.
No, well, that's the thing. I mean, to me, people ask me stupid questions like, is it magic? It's like, look, there's no such thing as magic. The question is, how did he do it?
Exactly. He's an illusionist. I understand.
Yeah.
But it looks so real, like the whole levitation thing. I could kind of use my head and try and figure it out a little too, but go ahead.
Thunder, Mick, we've got about 2 minutes left. Now, the show's going to switch to overtime here in just a minute. If anybody who's listening wants to continue to listen, we're probably going to only go about another 5-10 minutes or so. If anybody who is listening wants to continue listening, call 646-716-6135, and you'll be able to hear it. You're only going to be able to hear the rest of this show, the remaining minutes of this show, if you're on the phone line. So go ahead and call 646-716-6135. If not, I'll have it up on YouTube in the next day or two. But if you want to hear the remainder of the show, call in 646-716-6135. Anyway, I kind of wanted to ask you about that as well, as far as the how awesome was that, working with the guy. Did somebody's guitar chord all of a sudden disappear during the studio? Did he like play practical jokes on people that were recording?
No, not necessarily. We always pretty much had a musical working relationship. We weren't really it wasn't like he does sit around and do tricks, I guess, for people, but it wasn't really necessarily like that. We were always really busy getting down with music stuff and putting things together for the show, and that was in the early days. He would come to the studio and whatnot, and then after like season 2, he'd just be like, do whatever you want, and I'd send him stuff, and he moved to Vegas, and he would just tell me what he liked and didn't like, so he became less and less involved as time went on. So it was in the very beginning. It was it was kind of flat out establishing what was going on and what was happening, and again, he wasn't famous when I started working with him. It was 2003. And it wasn't until 2005 that he got the TV show, and that's when it hit and started getting big. That's when things started to really change. Before that, for the first 2 years, he was a guy out there trying to do it. He was doing things, but he wasn't really like the guy that we know now. So, bottom line is he became what he became while we were working together, and it changed a lot, So
when that show first came out, I always wondered who the guy was out there in the desert with him playing the guitar.
That was me.
He always had, he's got the rock star persona kicking there, and I really didn't know who it was for a long time. And I was kind of honored. I'm like, oh, well, look, man, I love that song. I'm like, dude, that's a fucking kick-ass song right here. And thank you for being on our show.
There's actually a story. Well, there's actually a story behind that. What happened was initially, because Criss always wanted to be a musician, and in the early days, in the early days he was a singer in a band, and he used to do magic tricks during the solos and whatnot. It really wasn't. People were kind of confused, and he at one point got put to him like, you really should kind of concentrate on one, and you seem to be excelling in the magic area. So he did pursue that, but that's why music was always a very big part, because I think in his heart he always wanted to be like a rock star or whatever. So when he was very excited when we put the video together, I went out to Vegas and we filmed it for season 1, and I was actually in it a lot more in the beginning. It was a 30-second video, and it was great, and we used for the intro and the outro. And the outro, I was in a lot of it. It's actually on one of my sites on my YouTube. You could see it. And what happened was A&E got a little weirded out and said, look, you're confusing people. What are you trying to be, a musician or a magician? So what they ended up doing was pulling the outro, like during the credits roll, which was my big part. They ended up pulling that off after the first show of the first season. So the only time it ever aired on TV, and it's always me in the beginning, but you don't, you see my guitar, you see my face for a second, it's in between, behind him. You don't really see me that much, but in the outro, that's where I was a lot, and unfortunately that got pulled right after the first show, and it put me into obscurity, and I've been in obscurity until I decided to step out from behind the shadows recently.
Which is awesome. Now, one quick question about that. Now, the vocals on it shows that Criss Angel is singing the Mindfreak part right there. Is that him actually doing the vocals, or is that you?
Yes. No, he actually does sing. He's got a very good voice, and he has a lot of music sensibilities to play the instruments. He played drums when he was a kid or something like that, but he's not necessarily
proficient musician. He's a good musician, but
he likes good music, and he knows what good music is. So he very much had a very clear idea of what he wanted and all that stuff. And I put my own little thing to it and created, what was I consider to call the soundtrack to his fame. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And the one thing, the reason I was kind of skeptical of that with him singing is because how good the music track was behind it and everything right there. And, him being a magician, I wouldn't put him as a musician right there. So, they do a lot of that voiceovers and stuff like that. I know through, as I was telling you, my uncle did a lot of commercials and stuff like that. And my cousin's
every music video ever shown on MTV that wasn't a live video.
Well, a lot of people wouldn't get that, but yes, he does. He definitely has a musical background, and it definitely is him singing. And funny enough, a lot of people thought it was me singing because we have similar voices in a sense. So
that's what I was going to ask you. That's what I was going to ask you if it wasn't him, if it was you, because I did
sing on a lot of stuff throughout the seasons, but it was more background stuff, screaming in the background, doing different things like that. It was never really highlighted, but I'm sure, like, if anybody heard it, they would think it was him, but it was actually me in the background doing a lot of that stuff, which he encouraged me to do, actually, so it was kind of cool, you know.
Yeah, cool. And I'm sorry to get off the subject. I mean, this is really, this show's about you right here, and, your album coming out, this whole concept album movie. But it's kind of background to where it got you, where you're doing right now. So, it's just little questions of, the fun parts of, coming to where you are now.
Sure. Well, again, a lot of people ask me if I, do I regret, anything that happened or the way it went down. I mean, again, I was very much in the background for years. Like, nobody knew who did the music. And the beauty is, at this point in time, a lot of the Criss Angel fans and people who are fan of the shows are finding out little by little, like, oh, my God, I know that song. That was you. But, so it's been a good calling card. It's helped me in my career. I've got 23 different endorsements from musical companies. I've gotten all my fans, my starting fan base from that, and it's grown from there. It's opened up a lot of doors, and even to this day, like, even with you guys, right off the bat, when someone says, hey, we got Mick James, they'll say, well, who's Mick James? And I even have a video saying, who the fuck is Mick James on my YouTube, because that was the joke. Like, you see me everywhere, but who is he? Well, what is he known for? And the second people would say, like, oh, he's the guy who wrote the Mindfreak theme song. He did all the music on Criss Angel stuff. But everybody's like, oh yeah, cool. I love that stuff. So it's been a really good thing. I don't. It could have been very different. I could have stepped out in the spotlight a lot earlier and a lot sooner, but it's all good things happen the way they happen, and it's going great, and I'm very happy, and I'm very excited to get out there and actually play and meet a lot of the fans who've been supporting me for the last 3-4 years on Facebook, and even before that on MySpace, and they've been following me, and now it's like it's really starting to get to the point where I'm going to actually get out there, play, get to meet these people. A lot of these people are in different countries who we just love to see a live show, and I'm all up for it. I can't wait,
Well, I guarantee you one thing, man. You've definitely got 2 more fans, guaranteed,
awesome.
After finding you. And on top of that, hopefully a lot more who, for the people who are listening tonight. On top of that, the one thing in America right now is we're kind of lagging a little bit on the whole, real metal scene. It's just kind of, music that, you play that we love.
Yeah, I got something to say about that.
You go across the world. You go across the world, and it's still so big, especially in Europe, South America.
Well, you know what it is? It's true. The bottom line is music in general, rock bands, I have to say this, and I don't mean to put anybody down or, everybody likes what they like. A lot of the new shit that comes out, it's very mundane, it's very boring, it's very samey. All these bands got the same name, they sound the same, they're whiny. I don't really like a lot of the new shit, not because I'm always up for new shit. I like all kinds of stuff.
No.
I don't like these bands that have the same exact kind of name.
It's unoriginal, and the worst thing that ever happened in music, in the rock scene, is no guitar solo.
Well, guitar solos are yeah, without them it sucks, but there's also, it's not always necessary in every song, but the point of a lot of this is, it's just become so, I don't know, just like the music scene sucks. It's like
whiny and mundane.
Yeah,
it's
and I feel
and it's mundane.
Definitely, I feel like, it needs a big kick in the ass, and honestly, I got a really big shoe, so I'm looking to shake things up.
I love it.
I'm
going to tell you what, I'll be right there behind you kicking ass. I'm 5'6", but I wear a size 12, and I'm ready to go to work, man. I'm ready to go to work.
Nice.
That's it. You know what? And look, there's some music of the new music that I do like. There's some of those, little whiny kind of, not emo bands that, are out right now. Look, man, if you're going to grow long hair and you're going to wear makeup, play some fucking glam rock and roll. I don't want to hear the crying all the time. I don't want to hear about you cutting your fucking self. Shut the fuck up and get a friend.
No, I agree. It's. I feel the same way. But that's what it's come down to.
Figure out what you want to do. Exactly. But when we were kids, if you were wearing makeup and you were fun, had big hair, it's because you were in a band that talked about screwing women because that looked better than you did.
Well, what's basically happened in America for the most part is, rap stars have become rock stars. In Europe, rock stars are still rock stars, but like here, it's just become like all the musicians have become very safe and very, politically correct. But the rappers are out there doing their thing, having a ball, saying whatever they want, and doing whatever they want. The videos are hot.
Right.
And that's we need more of that. We I'm sorry to say it, but you need to have some ass in some videos. There's nothing wrong with that. It's rock and roll, No,
exactly. You know what? Instead of wearing fucking little tight spandex shorts, throw the fucking cut-off jean shorts back on, ladies. Come on, white women, where you at? Where's the white women at?
Yeah, no, definitely. Girls used to look a lot more like girls back in the day. I mean, it went through the whole grunge period
big
with
hair, half shirts, and cut-off jean shorts with a pair of boots. Put a pair of cowboy boots on, cut your jeans up to where I can almost see your vagina, and let's talk things here.
Yeah, sure.
Well,
I hear you.
Brandon, it's been an awesome show, and
yes, it has been, man.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. This. I'm definitely looking forward to the movie. I mean, I've got the album, and tell people real quick where they can purchase the album.
Well, right now it's on pretty much all the stores like iTunes and whatnot, and Deezer, and I think it's called RDO. I'm not even sure how to say it. It's on a bunch of different outlets if you just Google it. However, you can always get to my store, which unfortunately is down right now, but it will be back up soon. I'm working on that. It's just my main website, which is mickjamesisdead.com. So mickjamesisdead.com. You can find everything, my social media.
That's what we want, because we don't like to promote Amazon and Google Plus and stuff like that. We want to promote the site to where the musician can make the money. So if it's Mick
you put the work in there, Amazon did.
Yeah, mickjamesisdead.com is definitely where you can find all my social media and all my stuff. And like I said, the store is down now, but it will be back up shortly, and anybody can get a CD if they want one. And that's how you get hard copies, really. The other way is just download. I mean, some people rather download some.
And there's nothing like having a hard copy.
Yeah, and just so everybody knows, if there's anybody out there listening that doesn't know who I am or hasn't seen my sites, any hard copies of the board I've been signing. They also come with a whole package of a signed photo and a custom guitar pick and stuff like that. So it's an actual package, as opposed to if you download it, you first of all, you don't get all the artwork, you don't get all that stuff. And this particular project is very filled with art and amazing graphics, and because it's part of the movie and whatnot. And that's another thing I hate.
That's another thing we need to get back to that as well. Back in the day, you went to the record store, you bought a record, man. You got a free poster with it, and those posters that was your wall, right there.
No, I hear you.
You had 150 posters of this band and that band because you got a free one when you went and bought the album. And to be able to have it on your hands right there, that hard copy. And you said the artwork alone, and all the information on the inside, you get to learn more about the artist. And you got an MP3, guess what? You're hearing a song, man. Which is great, don't get me wrong here. But, be a part of the whole thing, man. And let's get this back to where it needs to be, where the artist and the listener kind of connect a little more right there.
Definitely. Well, I've been finding that a lot of people actually still do like CDs and would prefer them. Some people just straight up download, play it on their iPod or whatever, and that's cool. That's great. But I've been finding that a lot of people actually do ask me for hard copies, and I love that because I would prefer that any day of the week. And
in my opinion, I think it's better quality sound anyway. When you have the opportunity to sit there and not listen to it on your phone, and you actually have an EQ in your car, and you throw that CD in there, and you can EQ it to where you want it right there, and your speakers aren't rattling because the bass might be a little higher. It's just so much better right there. You can get more quality out of it, in my opinion.
Sure. No doubt. Well, guys, listen, I got to go. It's been great. Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it. And I'm glad you guys got to debut the new single. I'm going to be putting that up on Reverb Nation soon so people can actually hear it. And shortly after, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we'll be able to get the actual video to that song out as well. And it'll put together a little more visual of the actual story from the Speeding Like a Fiend, what happens from there to the next song, and keeping it a little more suspense until the next one comes out.
Well, Mick, personally, I'd like to thank you for being on the show, man. It's been fun, man, and you're a down-to-earth, real guy, man, and I'm telling you right now, I really thought you were going to be more like the guy in the video right there, and good job on the acting part right there. Look, that was fun, man, and I really appreciate you being on here, and the music is fantastic, and I am really excited about when the movie comes on, so hopefully you'll keep in touch with us and give us a little heads up on when things progress a little bit.
Sounds great, guys.
We'll definitely have you back on again when the movie comes out, whatever. We want you on again at some point.
Sounds great. All right, guys, have a great night.
We appreciate it. And to all our listeners right there, that is Mick James, bitch. And you can get a Mick James bitches T-shirt if you go on this website.
Indeed.
That's right. All right, man. We appreciate it, man.
You got it, man. Have a good one, guys.
You too, man.
So long.
Thank you for listening to the Will and Thunder Show. The band that's going to take us out is Beyond the Fade from Charlotte, North Carolina. You can find them at Beyond the Fade at Twitter and also at Facebook, Beyond the Fade. The song's called Lights Out, and they're going to take us out. Thank you for listening to the Will and Thunder Show. We'll be back next week, same time, 10 p.m. Eastern till midnight, with another awesome guest for you. Later.